3 miscarriages before I was born. And being of a rather morbid turn of mind, she kept the results in the backyard, in the bushes, preserved, ominously enough, in alcohol. There they were, Nicholas, Stephanie, and Eliza. I'll never forget the first time I came across them when I was a small boy, when Mother grabbed me by the hand and led me into their thicket. The light was pretty bad, and I couldn't make out what was there at first. Suddenly, I saw these 3 little puckered people lined up, staring at me in a strangely knowing way. I used to watch Mother coddling them every Thursday and consult them on all matters of the moment. Not that they were very helpful. They remained expressionless and inscrutable at all times, but I began to detect a certain superciliousness in their attitude, a kind of amused contempt for their younger brother, which came to be very wounding. They had no right to despise me for being less fortunate than they were. When Mother told me how difficult and dangerous my birth had been, I often felt there had been some terrible mistake and that my place was down there with them in a large glass jar. If any of you had lived, I used to tell them, I wouldn't have had to. They looked back at me, smug, skeptical and unblinking, and I envied their peace. I awoke one night after a nightmare and wished I were dead. You know how it is as a child, the worst. That's when I get violent. When I see things as they really are. I went to the backyard and looked at Nicholas, Stephanie, and Elise, sitting there comfortably, wise and gloating, and lifted my fist and smashed it. I remember being saturated in alcohol. A glimpse of them grotesquely marooned in their broken jars before I passed out. The next day when I looked, they were back, just as before, in identical jars, and Mother never said a word about it. Were it not for the fact that I surprised a look of active dislike on their faces when I next visited them, I'd be inclined to write off the whole incident as a ghastly dream.